Intermountain Homecare and Hospice is one of the key groups divisions of part of the broader Intermountain healthcare system. We serve a lot of the most vulnerable patients in the community, people who are truly homebound. They can't always go to the hospital or the doctor's office, and there's a really unique need for these individuals. The foundation, the philanthropic arm of Intermountain Homecare and Hospice really helps get alignment from the community around those things which are most important, true community need. And as we raise those funds through our foundation efforts, we're able to use those to provide services to people who cannot pay for them otherwise. Truly charitable service.
It's a great benefit, and it's a comfort to know that Intermountain Homecare and Hospice is able to provide this care whether or not people have the means, because we are funded by our foundation. There is a lot of financial support that comes from our employees and other donors, not unlike Todd Taggart and his wife Jane, who during their care expressed such gratitude for what we were able to do for them that they felt compelled to give a meaningful gift to the foundation later on that has helped many, many people since Jane's passing.
Jane suffered from migraines as an adolescent, and they would come and go, and they had subsided and for no real known reason came roaring back. The doctor insisted that Jane have blood tests, and it was really through the blood tests that cancer was found. We got to early 2010, and they really ran out of bullets. Things were not looking very good. That led to a very difficult conversation for our wonderful oncologist. He basically said there's not a whole lot more than we could do. And he suggested that under the circumstances that we go the hospice route. And it was a very emotional moment at that time for Jane and I, because that was really the first time that it hit us that her death was imminent. I made arrangements for the representative from Intermountain Hospice side to come in. From the beginning, the relationship started with Intermountain, and it just got better. The nurse that was assigned to Jane, Anna Halsey, took a personal interest in Jane. She shifted Jane to her last stop in the day so that she could spend a little bit more time with Jane. Anna said to me on Friday that things were getting closer to the end, and speculated that Jane might be able to live another week. On Saturday, the next day, the rattle started. Jane died the next day on Sunday. And I was a mess, to put it lightly. And Anna got here, and she had her Intermountain Homecare nurse's uniform on. And I asked her where the other nurse was, and she said, I had a feeling that this was going to happen. And I wanted to be here for you and take care of Jane because of the way I feel about the two of you. So I called my supervisor and asked for permission if I could come on a weekend under the circumstances. It just speaks volumes to the kind of care that Jane and I experienced.
One of our unique services that we provide at Intermountain Homecare and Hospice is custom wheelchairs. And the difference from having the right custom wheelchair and having a standard wheelchair is the difference with being chronically in pain and not. Being able to perform your daily functions, living and not.
Presley Gleason is one of our wheelchair patients. We saw her when she was just a couple of years old, and it was determined that she was not going to be able to walk. And so we built a wheelchair system for her, one that could grow with her so that she wouldn't have to spend lots of money getting new chairs every couple of years, and gave her an opportunity to be mobile and to discover her own world.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I don't know what it was about the pregnancy, but something in me told me she was special. We first realized something was wrong when Presley was a few months old, and her fingers looked a little different, and her feet didn't seem to be moving much. And when she was 6 months old, we were referred to a specialist, and they told us she had a neuromuscular condition, but they didn't know what that was. She was later diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy with respiratory distress. And that makes it so that your diaphragm is pretty much paralyzed. Presley lost her ability to walk and breathe and eat.
I remember sitting in the entryway of Primary Children's, and I saw a little girl. I can't remember if she was in a wheelchair or what, but she had a lot of equipment with her. And I was sitting next to Mindy, and I just remember telling her, I don't think I can do that. And Mindy got kind of mad at me, and she's like, well, what else are we gonna do? And so I think from there it was just, hey, we're gonna do whatever it takes, and there was no turning back.
When Presley was hospitalized and they were telling us that she needed to be trached and she'd be vented 24/7, we were told that she would be bedbound and homebound, and we never thought that she'd be able to go to school or go on vacations or even go to church. But having all the equipment and her chair and things like that, that's really opened not just our door, but our whole world. Just a few months ago, we went on our first real vacation out of state to Huntington Beach, California. And we went to the beach, and one of the days we went to Disneyland. And there, Presley was able to go down Splash Mountain. Presley even got her whole body buried in sand at the beach.
With our trip, Homecare was a big part of that in helping us get the extra equipment that we needed as a backup. You know, without that, we wouldn't have been able to go. We would have been taking a huge risk if a ventilator would have gone out. And so, yeah, Homecare plays a huge part in getting us out of the house and giving us the freedom to do the things that we want to do and to give her the experiences that we want her to have.
With the services we provide, it makes a difference between, again, people existing and people living. And that's a big part of what we do.
When you look at the experience that people have, that the benefit that they were able to receive and the change that it's made in their life because they've had this kind of care, you cannot put a dollar figure on that. That value is beyond anything else. When people have an opportunity to give a meaningful gift, they're able to help many more people than they would ever imagine.
For Jane and I to be able to contribute to those in need goes beyond just the care that Jane received. Theodore Roosevelt said, before they care how much you know, they need to know how much you care. And really that defines Jane. It defines Intermountain. I don't have the words that could encourage people enough to be participatory in helping to give back for what you have received.